Hi, this is Lyn Christian of Soul Salt Inc., and I'm going to explain how to effect lasting organic change. Now, the model that we will use is known as the change cycle, and one of the most common phenomenons that precipitates the use of the change cycle is when we need and want something and we put forth effort, and yet the results that we get after our effort seem miles apart from those things we actually needed and wanted. In fact, it's within this gap that we start to feel pain. And that pain usually sets off a chain reaction, almost like a knee-jerk reaction, where we start to tell ourselves, I need to stop doing this and I need to start doing that. Or even worse, we start dictating to other people, stop this, start that. Well, if you pull out and look strategically, use visual thinking, and imagine that the change cycle is actually a pie graph. If we only try to change behaviors in order to affect change, we are only accessing 25% of the actual power available to us. I don't know about you, but I would not get in my car and expect to arrive at a long-distance destination if it's only working at 25%. When we're only getting 25% of what we need and want, we start to throw more fuel on the fire. In fact, we start to take things more seriously. And instead of just dictating behaviors, we throw down the hammer and we make rules, policies, owner's manuals. We maybe even lay down a law, thinking that if we can get harsh enough and write things down in manuals and policies and rules, that will be the tripwire that gets people to then start changing their behaviors. Well, even if this does work, and again we pull out and strategically look at the cycle as a pie graph, we are only accessing 50% of the power available to us. We're actually getting a half-assed sort of result for our efforts. So if we truly want to have long-lasting change, we need to back out of our knee-jerk reactions and our control problems and start to get smarter. In fact, what we need to do is move to the top of the cycle. And there's this kind of magical little keystone place between the thoughts and feelings that are being generated around this scenario and our needs and wants. And if we sit down and have honest conversations with ourselves or the other people involved in this scenario, and we discuss what does each party need and want, what are they thinking and feeling when they don't get it, how might they think and feel differently if they do get it, we start to have empathy. We start to have deeper emotional intelligence. And we also start to have conversations that start to form things like joint meaning and agreement. And this is where the momentum starts for authentic, organic, and meaningful change, is in these dialogues. Because what happens then, with a joint agreement, we can then sit down and decide, do we need rules? Do we need policies? Do we need to lay down the law? In fact, it's because of these joint agreements we can actually maybe commit to one another how we might hold each other accountable. And then because we've had these agreements, when it comes time to act out what we need to do in order to follow what we said we would do in the agreements, this is how we start to access 100% of the change. This is where we start to get different results that then do meet our needs and our wants, and we close the gap. And again, if we pull back and look at this change cycle as a pie chart, we start to see where we can affect 100% of the opportunity in a change. And it's not with behaviors, and it's not with laying down more rules.